Hello, this is Darcie the Dog Trainer, owner and head trainer of CommuniCanine Training and Behavioral Counseling, where it's my passion and purpose to connect dogs and people. With the holidays coming up, a lot of you are going to be leaving your dogs in the care of a dog sitter. And having had some experience looking after people's dogs in the past, I can tell you there's a few things that you're going to want to make sure you don't overlook to ensure that everybody has a peaceful time while they're away. So before you even go off on your holiday, you're going to want to make sure that you've done a trial run with your dog sitter, if that's possible. So have the dog go to the facility for an overnight stay when you're still in town. Or if it's somebody coming to the house, see if they can spend some time over at the house or take the dog for a walk just to start to build a relationship with them, if it's somebody they don't already know. The next thing you'll want to make sure of is that you pack plenty of extra supplies for your dog. So enough food for several days after you're intended to return, enough medication for several days after you're scheduled to return. Often, especially around the holiday times, flights get delayed, there can be hang-ups, hold-ups, and you don't want to leave the dog care provider short of any kind of supplies, especially medical ones. Now, in the event of an emergency, you're going to want to make sure both your dog sitter and your veterinarian know what your specific requests are for your pets. So let's say one of them gets hit by a car, unfortunately. What would you want them to do in that case? Is there a specific limit financially that you're willing to spend on your dog's care? Does your dog sitter or does your veterinarian have permission to make decisions on your behalf when they can't get a hold of you? And sometimes what you would do in the event of an emergency with your pets isn't what somebody else would. So you want to make sure that you're very clear with them of what your limits are as to how far you want to go with medical treatment, and letting them know at what point you wouldn't do treatment any further. Because that's a pretty tough decision for somebody to have to make on your behalf if you aren't reachable. Fourth thing is emergency contacts. Now, we all know to leave an emergency contact number for ourselves, but maybe you're going on a Caribbean cruise and you aren't reachable, or it's going to be really hard to get a hold of you. So make sure to leave the number for one or several other people that can make decisions on your behalf and who also know your wishes for your dog. And finally, for the dog care provider, have a tag made with that person's or that facility's information on it. Your dog's name and that facility or person's phone number. Because it is actually more common than you think for dogs to escape from their sitters when the owners are away, because they're a little less comfortable, especially if it's the first time they're being left alone. And the last thing that the finder wants is to call somebody who is not available for a phone call. And of course, the sitter is going to be losing their mind trying to find that dog, and nobody's going to be able to reach them in the event that they find the dog on their behalf. So keep those things in mind when you're getting your dogs ready to go to their sitters as you get ready for your holidays. And in addition to that nice list you're going to leave for the care provider of everything that the dog does on a day-to-day basis in their routine, make sure you add those other things in there as well. So have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you soon.